Today's Woodworking 101s are brought to you by the W.L. Fuller Company. Hi, I'm Debbie Fuller from W.L. Fuller. I'm here at the Landing Boat School in Arundel, Maine, where the students are using our products on a daily basis. And they want to show us some of them in progress, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, Reed, we're going to set up today to drill some plugs to fill up the screw holes in the boat that we've made from putting the screws into the planking. We're going to be using our Fuller plug cutters to fill up the screw holes that we've made with our Fuller screws. 3/8 size is most of what we're going to be using today. We have anywhere 1/2 inch. It comes in this set. We have 3/4 inch, we have 1 inch, we have 1 1/4 inch, all different sizes we can use. So we're going to set up with the 3/8 inch. We're going to be using cedar stock to match the cedar planking stock we have in the other room. So we set this in the chuck, tighten it up by hand, counterclockwise, and we have our key, which we'll use to snug up the bit in the chuck. We can go ahead and plug the thing in now. We had it unplugged so we don't get hurt when we start the thing up. One thing you never want to do is leave the key in the chuck, because that can really get you hurt. Make sure you don't have jewelry on, loose clothing, all that kind of thing, and then we're pretty much ready to go. We have our on and off switch right here. The green is on. Speed control is up here, and what we're going to be looking for probably for bungs is around 1900 RPM. So we'll turn the machine on and we'll adjust the speed up to 1900 RPM. No need to clamp it. In this case, we'll just hold it steady on the table, work the Fuller bit down, and let it go in through the piece of stock. Now I've cut about 3 bungs here. One thing you want to make sure you do is pull it down far enough, pull the drill press down far enough that we actually get the little round in the top. You can see there's a little round up here in the top, and that helps us insert the plug into the hole when we put it on. If you leave it too shallow, we end up with a square end, which is fine in some cases, but not for today. So we're going to make a few more plugs here before we get going. We have these bungs cut out here now. I ran it at about 1900 RPM in this case, which is a little faster than we usually cut the bungs. This Atlantic cedar is a very soft wood, and we find that if you run it any slower, it tears out the grain of the wood. So we don't get a nice clean plug where it's going to fit in. So we've run that a little extra high speed. You can see even at this speed, it's kind of chewy where it's come out here. There are a couple of ways we can take the bungs out, or the plugs out of the wood. One is a screwdriver, and we just stick it down in there and give a little snap, and it pulls the thing right out. And if we only have a few plugs to cut, that's the way we would go at it. In this case, we're going to have hundreds of them to cut out, so we're not going to want to go one plug at a time like this. So we're going to go over to the bandsaw, and we're going to cut these out on the bandsaw. And I'll show you how to set up and do that. Okay, Reed, we're going to set up to cut these out on the bandsaw now that we've made them. A couple of things we're going to do first. We're going to be passing it through the blade. So when we pass that through, all these plugs are going to want to fall out and fly across the floor. So I'm going to put a piece of tape across the front. We could just hold a piece of wood, but we'll put tape across, which will keep them from flying out. And it'll save us some time putting them back together. Also, I'm going to draw a line down the side at about a 1/2 inch in, which is the depth of cut of the fuller bit. And that way, we cut them to depth and we still have a good length on the plug. So we pass them through the saw. I left a few uncovered so we can have some fun with that. In we go. And as you can see, my tape worked really well. But we have our pile of bungs here, so we have a successful mission. And now we're ready to pick them up, take them, and put them on the boat. Okay, what we're going to do now is set up our taper bit and our countersink for the size of screw that we're going to be using for the planking on our boat. We're using, in this case, a number 8 1-inch screw. So we have an 11/64 taper bit and a C8 Fuller countersink that we're going to be putting together, setting them to the proper depth for the screw. The 1-inch screw has a taper up on the top of it, and we have a taper on the countersink, and we're going to line these up. And in this case, we're drilling from a softwood into a hardwood, so we're going to set the depth of the drill just slightly deeper than the depth of the screw head. I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to lock this in position. As I lock this in with the set screw, I'm going to try to lock it in such a way that it locks right into the slot in the drill bit. That way it won't roll around and slide off the screw. So I have this set to the proper depth. We're all set to go. Okay, let's get to work.